Hello, I invite you to the first of a series of several films about terrace pergolas from the Polish manufacturer Alu-System. In this and the next episodes, I will show you the assembly of the pergola, as well as various possibilities of wall construction. I will also share my impressions of using the pergola in different weather conditions and at different times of the year. In order not to miss the next episodes, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, I invite you to the first episode, in which I will show the assembly of the pergola. As I mentioned at the beginning, the pergola is manufactured by the Polish company Alu-System. Details about the manufacturer's offer, advantages of the pergola, assembly options, as well as the pergola configurator and approximate price level are available on the website www.mypergolas.pl. For an individual quote or contact with the distributor, please contact the manufacturer using the contact form provided on the website. I can also answer various questions. My contact details are left in the description under the video. The pergola model shown in the video is the PB125 bioclimatic pergola. This is a cheaper model that comes in a maximum size of 4 by 6 meters on 6 legs. The manufacturer offers larger pergolas measuring 4 by 7 meters on 4 legs, as well as other aluminum structures such as winter gardens or carports. Details on the manufacturer's website www.alusystem.pl. I will talk about other solutions in the next videos. In order not to miss the next videos, subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell to receive notifications. The presented pergola comes in basic dimensions: 3 by 3, 3 by 4, 4 by 4, and 4 by 6 meters. Due to the fact that the pergola is manufactured in Poland and not in China like pergolas from supermarkets, it is possible to order pergolas in individual sizes. Before starting the assembly, you should prepare a foundation measuring 40 by 40 by 40 centimeters. If we decide to build the sides with sliding glass walls, which I will show in one of the next episodes, we also need to prepare a screed for the lower track of the sliding wall. It must be even and level. After the concrete had set in the measured places, I mounted M12 pins on the chemical anchor and laid the terrace blocks. Then, according to the exact dimensions, I screwed the sheets fastening the pergolas to the terrace. In my case, I have hidden fasteners in the leg. There are various other ways to fasten the pergola. I will show and discuss them in the next videos. I start by assembling the shorter sides. A thick sheet metal bracket is used to stiffen and fasten the legs to the gutters. I insert it into the pergola leg with the cutout down. At this point, you can clearly see how solid profiles were used to manufacture the pergola. There is no question of saving or compromise here. Each of the legs is screwed to the gutter with 3 long M8 screws of increased strength. In one of the next videos, I will compare the materials used to manufacture the pergola by Alu-System with those sold in supermarkets. I assure you that it will be an interesting comparison. I'm screwing the leg with the gutter. It's worth equipping yourself with the right equipment during assembly. A strong screwdriver or wrench, preferably with long bits, and an angle attachment for the screwdriver, without which it will be impossible to tighten one of the 3 screws. After screwing one of the sides, we place it on the prepared mounting plates. If you order a pergola with sheet metal screwed on the outside of the leg, before setting the walls to the vertical, you should screw the sheet metal from the bottom of the leg. After screwing the other side, we place it on the opposite side. To protect the side from tipping over, you can use dedicated brackets, or use, for example, a piece of board that, properly protected against scratching, can be screwed into the recess for the LED strips, which will eventually be covered. The next step is to properly screw the beams on which the roof slats will be mounted. The slat sockets are milled in the beam. The shorter section between the socket and the end of the beam is at the back of the pergola, and the longer one is at the front. This is a very important moment to choose the right beam. The front of the pergola is the side on which the roof slats close from above. It should be positioned on the south side, from which the sun falls on the terrace. A goods lift will be useful for assembly. After screwing in the beam connecting the two extreme walls, the pergola gains stability. I start assembling the middle post, which is essential for this pergola model, with a length of 6 meters. With the higher pergola model, such as PB150, there is no need to use a middle post. Details in one of the next videos. The middle post is screwed in with 2 screws. Since it is one of the legs that drain water, a hole is milled in the gutter. In the next stage of assembly, all the connections between the gutters and the legs should be sealed. For this purpose, use facade silicone resistant to weather conditions. I seal both the upper and lower gutters of the pergola at the connection with the leg. A drip is mounted on the front of the pergola on the upper part of the gutter, collecting water from the first slat, and also protecting the electrical control unit. It should also be sealed in the indicated places, omitting the end, to allow water to flow into the gutter. I am starting to install the roof slats. Each slat is prepared by the manufacturer for installation in the gutter sockets. The fastening elements should be inserted with the bevel facing upwards. At this point, it is worth inserting the actuator mounting flat bar into the gutter on which we are laying the slats. I will show the actuator installation later in the film. We are starting to install the next roof slats. It is important to pay attention to the correct direction of their arrangement. The installation is very quick and easy. At this point, I would like to mention that the roof slat profile used by Alusystem is characterized by high durability. The maximum roof load of up to 200 kg per square meter means that Alusystem pergolas can easily withstand the load of snow on the roof in winter. At the end of the pergola, a second drip should be attached, collecting rainwater into the gutter. Both the first and the second drip are screwed to the gutter with stainless steel sheet metal screws. I will show this later. This is what the fully assembled slats look like. They not only provide sun protection on sunny days, but also provide a tight roof during rainfall. In addition, thanks to its durability, the roof can be left closed for the winter, which will protect our terrace and patio furniture or other equipment from snow. Time to screw on the slat guide. Screw it using plastic spacers mounted on the slat side and stainless steel M6 screws with washers. Insert a spacer washer into the guide hole. Mount a washer from the outside and screw the slat to the guide using an M6 screw with a washer. After attaching all the slats, tighten the M8 screws on which the slats rest without using force. The next step is to screw on the slat protection. Using stainless steel sheet metal screws, screw the cover profile at equal distances. Time to screw the pergola to the mounting sheets. Each leg is screwed with 4 stainless steel M8 screws. Finally, the screws will be covered with the cover. The next stage of assembly is to attach the actuator. I will screw the actuator mounting element to the sheet metal previously inserted into the gutter. However, first you need to screw it to the actuator. A stainless steel profile is used to guide the slat guide, which we screw to the guide with 2 screws that screw the guide to the slat and a few stainless steel rivets. After determining the correct position, I screw the profile to the guide. Then I drill through the guide with a 4mm drill and rivet both elements together from the roof slats. It is very important to mount the rivets from the right side because riveting from the other side will prevent the slats from working. I can now screw the guide profile to the actuator. After placing the roof slats in the closed position, when the actuator is set in the extreme closed position, I screw the actuator to the gutter. This is what it should look like after screwing. time to mount the electrical unit, it will be screwed to the prepared nuts in the front gutter of the pergola. We screw one of the grounding wires to the rivet nut mounted in the leg. I will screw the other to one of the screws mounting the electrical unit. The legs of the pergola have prepared through holes for the wires. The power supply cable for the actuator and the power supply cable for the pergola should be fed through them. The holes are secured with protective rubber bands to protect the cable from damage. In the meantime, I screw the drip cap onto the front gutter with sheet metal screws. As I mentioned earlier, it should be sealed around the leg, leaving a gap at the end for water to flow into the gutter. In my case, due to the location of the pergola's power supply and the plan to connect the camera in the future, 3 cables go to the control unit. So that they do not lie in the gutter, I attach them to cable ties above the gutter in the place where the water flows. After the silicone has dried, all the connections are tight. I am starting to install the leg covers, which are screwed on with 4 screws. Time to install the LED lighting. It is very simple and quick. The flexible tapes just need to be pressed into the gutter profile at the corners. Bending them to a 90-degree angle, the pergola is lit with 2 tapes. Due to the length, in order to avoid voltage drops at the ends, the strips are powered at the beginning and end. Both the beginning and the end of the strip are terminated with plugs, which after using the extensions included with the pergola, simply need to be connected in the electrical control unit. 4 wires come out of the control unit to power the LED strips and 1 to power the actuator. There is no possibility of a mistake, everything is described, and the plugs only fit together in one correct position. After installing the LED strips, measure and cut the cover, which we mount, for example, using a rubber hammer. Similarly, we mount the covers on the legs of the pergola. For an additional fee, you can also order lighting mounted in the legs. However, this is an individual configuration of the pergola. We mount the covers by pressing them in or hammering them in with a rubber hammer. This is the last stage of assembly. And this is how the assembled pergola looks after dark. The lighting is neutral in color, very bright. Using the remote control, we can smoothly adjust the backlight power. With the second remote control, we close and open the roof slats, which open to an angle of 135 degrees from the closed position. After closing, we get a tight, durable roof that has a load-bearing capacity of up to 200 kilograms per square meter. And a presentation of the pergola during the day. Thanks to the shape of the roof slats, it is very durable, and the adjustment of the slat angle allows you to adjust the amount of light falling on the terrace, which allows you to shade the terrace and illuminate it by reflecting sunlight from the slats. Thanks to its solid construction, the pergola is resistant to wind speeds of up to 160 km per hour. That's all for the first film in this series. In the next films, I will show you different possibilities of wall construction, and these will be zip lines, adjustable slats, a sliding glass wall, and a fixed glass wall. I will also share my impressions of use in different weather conditions and different seasons. I will compare 2 models, the one from the film, PB125, with its bigger brother PB150, there will also be an opportunity to compare pergola profiles from Alu System with pergola profiles sold in stores. I also plan to show the assembly of the PB150 pergola, so in order not to miss the next interesting films, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. In the description under the film, I leave the contact details of the manufacturer, where you will get information about the pergola or distributors. If you are interested in contacting me, I also leave my contact details. You can also leave questions in the comments. If the film was valuable to you, leave a thumbs up. See you in the next films.